verse 19.
Book of Mark, chapter 4, verse 19. And the cares of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches, and the lust of other things entering in.
Can read that, you know.
And this is Book of Mark, chapter 4, verse 19. And the cares of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches.
It says the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches, because it can be deceitful. You know, if you're making the love of money your whole goal and aim, it's deceitful because you think, you know, this is what's going to help you through times of trouble. And when you look at the MOTB, your money ain't going to be useful to you anymore. But Esau's looking to get rid of money anyway. You know what I'm saying?
No, what's it say?
Yeah. And the lust of other things entering in choke the word, and it becometh unfruitful.
And that's one of the reasons as well why some people actually go back into the world. Like, they lack patience, they don't want to wait for, you know, the blessings and the promises that come in the kingdom. They want it now. You know, they got that here and now spirit. You know? That's why it says, in your patience possessing your souls, man. Yeah.
That's why it also says, those who endure to the end.
Yeah, that's right. Same.
Patience. It says a patiently waiting.
Like you said as well, our people want it all, but not only that, they want it all now.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why Scripture says that enemy is there, so many sorrows.
That's right.
Because more time, because our people want it now, they're willing to do anything it takes to.
That's right.
Which is normally wickedness.
And that's the spirit of a wanted now. The wanted now spirit is you're willing to do what you need to do to get it now.
Yeah.
Rather than patiently wait for your inheritance to come in.
So right here, right now.
That's right.
Philippians 4.
It's the book of Philippians chapter 4 verse 11. It says, not that I speak in respect of one, for I have learned in whatsoever state I am, wherein to be content.
Yeah, that's what we have to do, man. Learn whatever condition the Most High puts us in, to be content in that position. You know? Make sure we're seeking things that's actually needful.
Precept. Can I have that verse again, please?
It's the book of Philippians chapter 4 verse 11. Not that I speak in respect of one, for I have learned in whatsoever state I am, wherein to be content.
And this is just what the brother's saying. This is Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 5. And it reads, let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such things as ye have. For he has said, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. And that's the point as well. We have to be content and we have to wait on Yahushua. Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 5. And it reads, let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such things as ye have.
So whatever position you're in, it's like even in the truth.
That's right.
That's brothers are coveting other brothers' positions. And you know what I'm saying? Their office. You know, you want to be the bestest or the best at, or you want to be number one or number two, or come on, man, just be content with where you are. At the end of the day, you've been given a penny, which you have to work your penny, man.
That's why you see a lot of brothers, like brother a few weeks ago, it's like you can't, you know, and they give up. You know, they've given up, and they're not, you know, they're not content with what they've got already, and they've, you know, forsaken the Lord and saying, be patient, you know, because they run out of patience. But that's what this takes. It's going to take a lot of patience, man.
Sometimes they even think that when you come into this truth now, that's it, you know, everything's going to be all sweet and dandy and
and you know, and that's when it isn't. Yeah.
But it says prepare yourself for temptation.
Because you declare yourself, when you come into the truth and you start acting on the word, you start being led by the Spirit, you've actually declared yourself an enemy of the state.
You certainly.
So you are going to face trials and tribulations, and the Most High will allow it because He wants to test your faith and He wants to test your belief.
Yeah, go on.
I'll read 11 again. This is Philippians chapter 4 verse 11. Not that I speak in respect of one, for I have learned in whatsoever state I am, wherein to be content. I know both how to be abased, and I know how to abound. Everywhere and in all things I am instructed, both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. I can do all these things through Hamashiach, which strengthen me. Basically, you know, that it says that I'll give it from the top. It says, I know both how to be abased. So, you know, certain brothers, man, they be at the bottom, man. You know, they know what it's like. They know what the feeling's like to be at the bottom, to be at the base, man. And it says also, I know how to abound. So certain brothers might have had, and certain brothers might have been taken away, man.
That's right.
So but the key is being content there, man.
That's right.
So having suffered, you know, not having and having I've had. And then, you know, that I can speak personally for myself, and brothers can probably attest to that. That we might have struggled at times in our life, but then there's brothers and sisters that have struggled more so.
That's right.
We might have had certain things, but there's brothers and sisters that might have had more so.
Or even less.
Or even less. So it's just
always degrees. The Most High gives you what you could tolerate. He's testing you. He gives you what you can take, and then you check to see that. All right, yeah, my guy's dealing with it. All right, guys, on to the next one.
But the key thing is that I can do all these things through Hamashiach, which strengthen me.
That's right. That's right.
Yep. This is the book of Luke, chapter 12. It's the book of Luke, chapter 12 and verse 34. And it reads, "For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also."
That's right. That's the reason why the Most High doesn't want us to be rich on this side. Because where our treasure is, if our treasure is on this side, we're not seeking the kingdom. We're not seeking Yahweh Shai's redemptive coming and dealing with what he needs to do. We're seeking this. We're not supposed to seek this.
Take your eye off the prize.
That's right. That's what this kingdom does, though. Make you take your eye off the real prize.
That's right. That's
giving you all the shiny stuff, like the brother was reading, you know. Satan takes them up to this high building and say, "Look, you see all of this? You can have this, man." And then Jake's like, "Really? How?" You know?
And I was going to make a point on that scripture, this brother. If you can bring it out again,
It was the Luke one, isn't it?
Yeah, Luke 12 and 34 says, "For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also."
And what the scripture talks about, you know, storing up treasures in heaven. And you know, we're doing that within our mind, which is the love, right? That's where we're storing this truth, right? Which can be compared to the heavens, right?
That's right. That's right.
And they also have the saying, you know, home is where the heart is.
That's right.
And your heart is the love.
Yeah,
so
your mind. Yeah.
The place you feel most at home is the things that you're meditating on the most, and where your mind, the place where your mind goes the most. And
that's right.
This word is where our mind goes within everything.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's why it said what, man? You know?
Yeah, so can I bring out the scripture? Yes, it is a book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 29 and verse 11. "Lay up thy treasure according to the commandments of the Most High, which is Yahweh power.
That's that godliness with contentment.
And it shall bring thee more profit than gold."
See there?
And what's that, man? That's that 5 pennies being turned into 10 pennies.
That's
That's
right.
right.
That's
Multiplying.
It's that what you've lost here is that 100-fold.
That's right.
That's
Yeah,
what that
100-fold,
is.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Matthew 16:11.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 11. And it reads, "Give us this day our daily bread."
That simple, man. Give us this day our daily bread. Give us food that's convenient for me, man. Don't give me poverty, don't give me riches, but our daily bread. And this is what we need, man. Be content with your daily bread, whatever portion the Most High sends your way, man. Yeah, that simple.
And like my brother brought out earlier, that's twofold. So that's daily bread, meaning your daily food requirements, and also your spiritual aspect, which is the word
That's right.
of Yahweh.
Which you'll find in Matthew 4 and 4. She was quoting Deuteronomy 8. Yeah.
Which is what, whether you read a couple verses a day We watch a couple of videos a day.
I'm there now,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I was holding Matthew for it.
Holy.
Yeah, I'll bring it. So this is the book of Matthew, chapter 4, verse 4. But he answered and said, "It is written." And we
Because he
know
said-
who. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
No, go
I was
ahead.
just going to say, because he said, where it is written, where is it written? Deuteronomy chapter 8 is where the Messiah is quoting from.
8 and 3.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Right. But he answered and said, "It is written in Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 3, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word."
No, some words.
But every word.
Only words that's comfortable to you.
But every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God Yahweh power.
Come
That's the real bread, man.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, the sustenance.
That's right. And that is the real bread.
And that bread
that's
when you
real
eat,
water too.
and that bread when you eat, you never hunger. So I don't know, as you
Don't
brothers
need no
know,
butter.
no,
No,
yeah, as you brothers know, when you're fasting and you start reading, ask me where your hunger goes.
It just dissipates.
Exactly. So that proves that's the bread.
It does.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
But you're feeding the spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah, long time.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right. We old school here, man. We
Yeah,
old
wait a
school
minute. Rago.
No,
Yeah,
we old school, man. No. That's how we do it. That's right.
There's a bit in the scriptures as well where he was in the wilderness and they were asking, was it for meat or something? And he said, you know, I'm going to give you meat until it comes out your nostrils.
Yeah.
They keep asking, you know, you want too much, you're asking
He was
too
given
much.
them manna and they were not content with the manna. Right? So the manna, I don't know what it consists of. But it
Like
was
a wafer kind of
but it
thing.
was sufficient
Yeah.
for all our needs.
Yeah.
But we were craving, you know, like you get craving. You want some meat.
Oh, I remember when I was back in Egypt.
Yeah, exactly.
Lord.
Yeah, man.
So that goes back again, like I was saying, where, you know, when brothers come into this, it's like they're not getting what they want there and then. So they start to think of, yeah, when man was in the world, man was
man.
I was in the world that man had enough young.
Looking back.
Looking back.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah.
Says this is Luke 4:30 says, "For all these things do the nations of the world seek after, and your Father knoweth that ye have need of these things." Like the Most High, He knows what we need. And a lot of things, like there's a difference between, people say, oh yeah, I need this. No, it's not a need, it's a want.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
You know what I'm saying?
No, it's so true. There's a difference between needs and wants.
Wants, yeah. How people get the two mixed up, man. Yeah. Half of the stuff that we say we need is a want. You don't need a new car. You want a new car.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You don't need a bigger TV. You want a bigger TV.
Remember that saying that, I know you said, want it now,
Yeah.
get it, I want it.
That's
Yeah,
right.
well, in that day, they're not going to want none of the shit that they're asking down. You know what I'm saying? That's when they're going to be trying to seek the kingdom. So we're at 29.
So this is the book of Sarah.
You brought out 39, didn't it?
You asked me to bring out before. But
He brought out 39, which is kind of similar.
Okay, so we're good, yeah.
No.
Yeah. So this is the book of Sarah, otherwise known as Ecclesiasticus, chapter 29, verses 21 and 22. And it reads, "The chief thing for life is water, and bread, and clothing, and a house to cover shame."
He bring that
Yeah, he
out.
did bring that up.
Yeah.
I thought you said 39 or 29.
39, but we've read it before.
Yeah.
As well as that.
No. Is that one there as well?
Yeah, there is one there.
Read down to 24.
Yeah, verse 22. "Better is the life of a poor man in a mean cottage.
Because many of our people, they red-eye other people.
I know.
Yeah.
Better is the life of a poor man in a mean cottage, sounds like me, than delicate fare in another man's house.
So you're living off the next man, that's what you think.
You know what, just to add to that, you know what, there's a saying where it says that I'd rather eat crumbs in peace than steak in contention.
That's right.
That's, you know what I mean? Yeah. You know?
And verse 23, be it little or much, hold thee contented, that thou hear not the reproach of thy house. That's so true.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 42.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 31. And it reads, envy thou not the oppressor.
This is one of the reasons why we're not really content with what we have.
That's right.
You know, because we're looking at the other nations, they're prospering in their wickedness, and we want the same thing. And there's nothing wrong with wanting nice things, but seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High, innit? Get your priorities right. That's the basic.
And you know what's deep? Because the scripture you bring out just before it says, what we have, the other nations are seeking for that.
That's right.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
And we're seeking what they have.
That's right. Trade and place.
I'll take it from the top again. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
What's his ways? Covetousness, envy,
that's right.
Pride,
that's right.
Yes, pride, maliciousness.
That's right.
And it's in Ecclesiasticus. Somebody can grab me 9, Ecclesiasticus 9, 11 to 12, please.
It says, Sirach 9 and 11. Envy not the glory of a sinner.
And that's not envying your oppressor.
But thou knowest not what shall be his end.
And well, we know what his end will be because we have the set apart scriptures. And 12 was up, please up.
It says, delight not in the thing that the ungodly have pleasure in.
There you go.
But remember, they shall not go unpunished onto their grave.
That's right.
That's what we have to bear in mind, which we do.
That's right.
You know, bear in mind that they will not go and punish the sinners to their grave. So we mustn't envy what they have because we already know their meat, where their end is. So we don't want to go down that road.
Yeah, so there's a precept for our oppressors who the earth is given unto the hands of the wicked. So this is a list of what they are about. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 22, verses 14 and 15. I start verse 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life. So this is talking about the Hebrew Israelite man, woman, and children that hold fast to the faith, keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Right? That they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city, which will be New Jerusalem. So this is the point now. Verse 15. For outside of the kingdom, are dogs, calabium, woods, and sorcerers, which has a double meaning also. So sorcery is also rebellious people. And whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. So these are the traits of the person that is in control, the wicked, which are in control of the earth at the moment. Which we should not envy.
Yeah, because look where it gets us, man, outside the kingdom.
That's right, with the dogs.
Gets you out, just gonna say, it gets you outside, like you outside a bakery shop, you see them lovely cakes and you're looking through the window. You can smell it, but you can't taste it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 11, and it reads, and have no fellowship with the unfruitful works
That's right.
of darkness.
That's right.
That's why we need to stay out of them Christian establishments.
That's right.
For real.
That's more or less the main point, man. Have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them.
That's why Scripture says no hand joining hand.
Yeah. Wicked shall not go unpunished, and you're going to be punished with them too.
Can I just bring this out, because I mentioned it earlier. So this is in reference to the earth is given over to the hand of the wicked, but there's a nugget in there too. This is the book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24. The earth is given unto the hand of the wicked, which we're commanded not to envy. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. So that's another trait that they have. Replacement theology.
Yeah.
So they replace, which is beautiful, because that book that you gave to Brother Abadiah is validating this point. What they do, they take the images of the judges, which is the Hebrew Israelite men, women and children, because we have women judges too, and they change them, right? So, yeah, go ahead. Oh yeah, so this one to be
Isaiah 42, 22,
The book of Isaiah chapter 42 verse 22, it reads, the Lord Yahweh is well pleased for his righteousness' sake.
42, 22.
No, but that's a good point now.
But this is a people robbed and spoiled.
And this is one of the reasons why we're not really content in the situation that we're in, because we've been robbed and we've been spoiled. I remember you wrote that.
I did, yeah, I know, it just came to my mind too.
And he just ran out, they cover the faces. That's part of the robbery.
That's right, that's right.
Yes.
So part of the godly contentment is now us getting back who we are. Uncovering those hidden things.
So when you read the book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 4, it says, they have said, they meaning the people that we're commanded not to envy, the nations that are in control, the wicked, they have said, come and let us cut them off, which is us, from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So they've robbed us of our own nationality. Our knowledge of self has been robbed from us and spoiled from us.
But this is a people, Isaiah chapter 42 verse 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes.
And some of them snares is what? The riches of this world, man.
That's right.
The love of this world.
And they've all been in a trap.
That's right.
Some sort.
And they are hid in prison houses.
And that's what happens when you run down some of the riches of this world, man. You end up in prison.
It says they are full of prey.
Yeah, these other nations are preying on us.
That's right.
And none delivereth.
There's only one deliverer, which is Yahweh Shai.
For a spoil, and none saith restore.
And everything is going to be restored. This is why you have to be patient. Yeah? Be patient, be content, and wait for the blessings of the Most High, man. 24.
This is the book of Matthew chapter 6 and verse 24. And it reads, no man can serve two masters.
That's right.
For either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to one and despise the other. He cannot serve the Most High and Mammon, which means, the etymology, the word Mammon.
Yeah, man.
Is of riches and worldliness. Of riches and worldliness.
That's why he says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world.
Wealth regarded as an evil influence.
Verse 24.
Isaiah chapter 42 verse 24. Who gave Jacob for a spoil?
So this is a question now. The reason why we're in this situation, it says, who gave us for a spoil?
Absolutely.
And Israel to the robbers. Did not the Lord Yahweh?
That's right. That's right.
So this is why you have to seek heavenly riches, man, because the Most High is the one that put us in this situation. He's the one that's going to bless us out of it, man.
Who have given Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers?
That's right.
Did not the Lord Yahweh?
That's
he against whom we have sinned.
That's right.
That's the reason.
Yeah.
For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law.
So that's what we have to do now. Come back and start to walk in his ways and be obedient to his laws. Yeah.
It was us that caused the Most High to wrath.
That's right.
Isn't it?
That's right.
Revelation 2 and 9.
Book of Revelation chapter 2 verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich.
And that's the point that I really want out of that, man. You know, we have to remember that we actually have riches. You know, you just have to be patient to obtain these riches. You know, with your patience possessing your souls, man. Our people don't want to show no patience. You know, they want it here and now, but that's the downfall of our people, man. This kingdom gives you everything that you want here and now. You right, mommy? You want to hear something good? You want to hear something good? Want to hear something good? You believe in the Bible?
I'm a preacher.
You're a preacher? Well, let me ask you a quick question then. What must I do to get into heaven?
All right. Well,
I'd like
the
to get
Bible-
there.
The Bible tells us you must repent,
Oh,
be baptized. Every one of us.
repent
In
of
the
what now?
name, repent of your sin.
What is sin?
We were born in sin and shame.
What is sin, mommy? Enlighten me.
Sin, when
Sin,
you do
sin.
sin,
What is sin?
when you people who don't worship, come down for they tell me I've never seen God. But when you look at one another, you see God.
Can I show you a quick gem? Listen to this. First John 3 and 4.
So,
It's the book of First.
in the name of Jesus Christ, for the remission of your sins, the removing of your sins.
I'm going to show you a quick gem.
This is the
Gem.
this
We have to
this.
read the Old Testament
And the new.
and the New.
True.
So all things fulfilled in Christ.
So let me show you sin. You said we must repent of our sins, right?
Yeah.
Let me show you what sin is.
This is 1 John chapter 3 and verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law.
So that's what we have to do now. Learn God's commandments and try to apply them and keep them. But we're not being taught God's commandments, man. We're not being taught God's commandments, are we? Exactly. So, you know, that's what we have to do, man. Learn. And you said the name. You mentioned something about the baptized, being baptized.
Yes, in the
So-
name of Jesus Christ.
So baptism is what? Getting myself dipped.
When Jesus was on earth, when he came to die for us, he baptized in the river Jordan. And so he said, we have to
Alright.
because he is the Savior.
Someone get John 4. Alright, so we have to follow his footsteps, right?
Yes.
So let me show you something about his footsteps. John 4 and 1. Because I believe you, we must follow his footsteps, but God.
This is the book of
Yeah, listen to this one. I just want to
You
show
ever
you.
read out your Bible?
Yeah, but I just want to show you a little gem. Let me show you one of
Read out your
the.
Bible, it gives
John-
you
John
wisdom,
4,
knowledge,
1.
and understanding.
Listen to this
This is the
one.
book of John chapter 4 and verse 1. When therefore the Lord knew how the Pharisees had heard that Jesus made and baptized more disciples than John. Verse 2. Though Jesus himself baptized not but his disciples.
So, if we're going to follow his example, he said that he never baptized anyone.
Think you are.
Yes, Christ, he got baptized, but he never baptized anyone. With water. Let's see how you eat.
Don't mind looking back.
Yeah,
must just believe in it.
Yeah, but-
He said, blessed art thou.
But I'm showing you.
Not see, but yet believe.
But I'm trying to
I bet
show
you don't
Mommy.
tell me the meaning of that.
But what I'm trying to do, that means that you must have faith in him. But
When
your faith.
he baptized, and
But he never baptized anyone, Mummy.
yes,
The
and-
Bible
not
just
though?
said he
but
didn't.
he leaves it in the Bible for
Oh, what? Not to baptize anyone? All right, someone get me 1 Corinthians 1. I read from.
now you have to.
I'm going to show you something, Mummy. And look, yeah, of course we have to one and go straight to point 17. No, listen. 17.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 17.
Do you believe in Paul's writings, Mummy?
Yeah, you are the police.
You believe in Paul's writings?
Do it.
Right. Well, I don't look at the
Hello.
right.
How much
Right.
is this
Well,
one?
listen, John said that Christ, even though we know about that Christ got baptized, yeah, but he himself never baptized no one. And listen to what Paul
You
said.
don't have to bother preach that.
Yeah, but he did baptize people, but not with water. I'll show you how he
With
baptized
the
them
Holy
in a minute.
Ghost and
It's the book of 1
Holy Ghost and
So listen to what Paul said, Mummy.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 17. For Christ sent me not to baptize.
Remember, Paul said, "Be ye followers of me, as I am follower of Christ." So read that. Yeah, so listen to what he said.
For Christ sent me not to baptize.
He sent you not to baptize.
What the Bible just
Right.
says.
You don't know something? God said to us, call me and two.
This one. Hello. Hello.
Take off
This one.
from his word. Call me unto them and put to them word there.
Yeah,
So I
but
don't
so listen to this,
matter
Mummy, though.
what they say. I believe
Now
it.
this is what the Bible
No,
says.
this is the Bible. But do you believe in the Bible, Mummy?
This is what the Bible says,
You believe in the
Mommy.
Bible?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so listen. So listen.
reading from the
read
Bible.
that again.
Reading
This
from
is
the
the book of
Bible.
1 Corinthians.
Well, if you say that, what you're going to be offended about?
No, but listen, Mummy. Go on.
1
Don't be
Corinthians
offended.
Listen, Mummy.
chapter 1 and verse 17. For Christ sent me not to baptize, but
That's
to
the one
preach the
somebody
gospel.
writes.
No, but listen, Mummy.
Print in the Bible.
It says,
Right.
but, so you don't believe the Bible again, Mummy?
And Lord, if God tell you say they will do it, God tell you say they will do it, they will have things again.
Yeah, but it says, Christ sent me not to baptize. He's speaking about water baptism.
Yeah.
It says, but to preach the word. Now,
That's right.
read John 15 and 3. Listen, this is how you get yourself clean.
This is the book of John, chapter 15 and verse 3.
No, but, yeah.
No, me I ask you, Jesus, you know. I was on the mom.
But, Mommy, Mommy.
You hear what? You hear what I tell me this time.
What she said?
He said, Mom, God tell me something about you. I said, what did you tell me? And I laughed. She said, God told her that I heard
Yes,
God's
ma'am.
name.
Hey, go on.
Fully connected to Him. I am fully connected.
How do? The word.
Or some of them worship just from the lips. But
Right, lip service.
God.
Yeah.
I worship everything.
Spirit and in
Body,
truth, right?
This is how
So I am connected to Him.
this is how we're
So
gonna
that
clean
day I
ourselves,
was
then,
not
Mommy.
preaching on the book, I was dominant.
So, Mommy.
And I have that for my so I keep connected.
Well, look,
This is Christ speaking himself now. Yeah, this is Christ speaking.
it's the book of John, chapter 15 and verse 3, and it reads, Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you.
That's how we wash ourselves and clean ourselves through the word. Yeah,
All
apply.
of us have
Yeah, so before you water baptize, you have to clean yourself with the word. Alright, Mommy? Now we've got something.
I take off the roll, man. I put on the
That's right.
I got something for you here, Mummy. Mummy, listen to this, Mummy, yeah? This is Mark chapter 1 and verse 4. And it reads, John did baptize in the wilderness and preach the baptism of repentance for the remission of sins.
Remember, John was water baptizing.
But there's a point I'm coming to. This is verse 5. This verse 5 is the point I want to make. And there went out unto him all the land of Judea, and they of Jerusalem, and were all baptized of him in the river Jordan. But here's the point: confessing their sins. Now, when they were being baptized, they were confessing that they were sinners, meaning they had to turn from their sin. So that's the real baptism, is keeping the commandments, because they were confessing their sin. So in order to confess that, like me, if I'm going to say I've done something wrong, in order to do it, put it right, I've got to turn from where I was going wrong and start doing what's right. So that's what the real baptism is confessing that I've been breaking the commandments. Now what I've got to do is keep the commandments. That's the real baptism, is changing your way, changing your mindset. Keep from not keeping the commandments to keeping the commandments. All John did was, like that water baptism was just symbolic of cleansing. That's all that was. It didn't actually clean you, it was just symbolic as a sign of cleansing. That's what the water baptism is all about. It's just symbolic to cleansing. But the real cleansing comes is when you keep to the laws, statutes and commandments of the Most High. That's the real cleansing.
I mean, this word is compared to water. That's right. That's how we cleanse that's how we cleanse ourselves with the water, which is the spiritual water.
Let me just add, it also symbolizes rebirth, because when a mother has a child, her waters break. So it symbolizes a symbolism of being reborn as well.
Listen to this one, the last one.
This is the book of Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 26, and it reads, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word.
That's how we cleanse ourselves, by applying the word to our life. Yeah. And repent from our sins.
And be converted. Our sins may be blotted out.
The name, you say, the name. The name is Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai. Did you say that? Yahweh Shai.
On the day of Pentecost, when God said, the upper room.
Now they were speaking
The upper room.
But remember,
all the world and one of them. Everybody. Your language was
but he had, yeah, but I understand that. That may understand, mommy, listen. I understand that part, but the fact is, but mommy, he had a name. He had a name. One they called Jesus, he had a name. How can it be Jesus, mommy? But mommy, you have to remember this. There was J only came about 700 years ago. So before the J was around, what was he called then? The letter J was in the English language, because the J, if you get the King James Bible, we read the King James, listen, mommy. No, but he has a name, mommy, and his name is Yahweh Shai. Okay?
Yeah, you call him that name.
That's what he was called when he was on the scene.
Can I ask you something, mommy?
So you've translated his name.
You call it
your
language.
Can I ask you
I
something?
like you said
Like what? Can I ask you your name if you don't mind? Can I ask you your Pearl? Your name is Pearl.
Pearl.
Now, supposing I saw you there and I'm saying, Jane, would you answer?
That's the point.
That's the point I'm making.
What you are trying.
The point I'm trying to say is that now, like the brother said, they say his name is Jesus. Like you spell Jesus, J-U-S-E-S. But what the point?
Oh, I learned it.
Yeah. But the point is, right? When you go into the scriptures tell you he was an Israelite, a Hebrew. Yeah. When you go into Romans, it says he was a Hebrew. Now a Hebrew couldn't say Jesus because J doesn't exist in their language. So, and even at that point, J only came into effect in the 15th century when the letter J was came to force in the 15th century, and Christ was around the 1st century. Now we're talking about the J coming in 1,500 years after Christ's death. Now, if a name comes in 1,500 years after his death, how can that be his name?
Well, we're giving you his name.
We're giving you his correct name.
His correct name is
That's what we're trying to give you.
But for now, just whether you're
But I don't know if
But, yeah, in the English you pronounce it Yahweh Shai.
Yeah, that's how it's pronounced in English.
it's not different.
Okay, can I just say one thing? Can I just tell you one thing? The reason why it's important to say Yahweh Shai is because Yahweh, our power, his name is in his son's name. In no other language, when you transliterate the name, in no other language does his name resonate in his son's name. So in English, you would say Jesus and you would call God Jehovah. So Jehovah doesn't resonate in Jesus. But when you say Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, his name is in his name.
No, we're not dealing with Quran.
No, I know.
I read parts of this and
Well, anyway, Mommy, the key thing to take away that we have to wash ourselves with the word.
The word, yeah.
The word, yeah. Alright, Mommy? And we're Israelites, we're God's chosen people.
That's right.
Of course we are.
That's right. That's really good.
God chosen people, that's what.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
That's why he showed me the new Jerusalem coming down from heaven.
Show John to Revelation. Alright, Mommy. Alright, take it to you. Alright. Have a blessed day, yeah, Mommy. Alright, have a blessed day, yes?
Have a good day, Mommy.
Likewise, sis.
In the kingdom. That's right.
You're willing.
That's right.
God willing. Alright, Mommy. Have a good day, yes?
Back again another day.
Shalom.
All right, take care.
Yeah. Like we saying now, don't seek up treasures on earth where moth and rust and all of them things that can come in, thieves can come in. Yeah? Seek it in heaven. And the scripture speaks about some of the treasures them that we're going to get, man. Like, what we're going to receive, you can't get it in this lifetime, man. Or in this kingdom full stop.
Even when you say that, we can't even understand the fullness of that promise, man, right now.
That's right.
That's what you said, that, roughly paraphrasing that, minds of not, hearts of not...
eyes have not seen, ears have not heard. Things which are prepared for us, man.
Something I wanted to bring up just before the sister came. Sakwanwa came. So you read our Revelations 2 and 9. Could you read that again, please?
Revelation 2 and 9.
Yeah.
I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich.
Yeah, that's what I was here. So this is the book of Tobit, chapter 4 and verse 21, because it explains the wealth or the rich that was mentioned in Revelation 2 and 9. And fear not, my son, that we are made poor, for thou hast much wealth.
That's right.
If thou fear God, Yahweh power.
Can you take that again?
With contentment is great gain, man.
Can you take that from something again?
So this is the book of Tobit, chapter 4 and verse 21.
Yeah.
And fear not, my son, that we are made poor.
Man. Don't fear the fact that we've been made poor. Because as we are rich, man.
That's right.
You know, we'll come back to spiritual richness, and then in time, we get that physical richness, man. Yes, lucky.
For thou hast much wealth, if thou fear God, Yahweh power.
Can you just emphasize that bit? Go back up a bit, because there's a if. That was the point. So there's a yes.
If
and that's what we have to remember. There's that stipulation. You're not going to get all that just being a carnal brother walking around.
No.
There's a point to get this.
Yeah, that's right. If thou fear Yahweh power, and depart from all sin.
See? That's what you gotta do. If you don't do that, you're not getting this promise.
That's right. That's
And
right.
do that which is pleasing in His sight,
That's right.
not our
That's
sight.
right. That's right. Good preaching, man.
Yeah.
Bring it up.
Yeah? And it's the book of Proverbs chapter 16 verse 8, and it reads, better is a little with righteousness than great revenues without right.
That's right. That's right.
And what's that right, man? That's that right that Lord willing will be heirs, man.
That's right.
That's
That
right.
will shine.
That's right.
That's the right of the elect, man. That's the
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 60 and verse 11. And it reads, therefore,
Actually, read Psalms 24:1. I
Psalms
remember when I was in church, we had to learn this whole chapter.
24 and 1, you say?
Psalms 24:1, yeah. Like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, we're children, man.
I know you're the manager, but you remember this. Yeah.
I forgot most of it.
The book of Psalms, chapter 24, verse 1. The earth is Yahweh's, and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. For he hath founded it upon the sea, and established it upon the floods. Who shall ascend into the hill of Yahweh?
I just wanted verse 1 anyway. Just show it up.
He just showed it up now, innit?
Yeah, read one again.
The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein.
Yeah, so really and truly, there's nothing the Most High can't give us, man. You know, the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, everything.
That's right.
Where is? These other nations are His. You know, the animals, the birds, the trees, everything is His.
Even the evil spirits are.
Everything.
Yes.
And what does He say? I have made the world for thy sake.
That's right.
Yeah? So yeah, man. And let's see some of the blessings that we'll get if we just be patient and soar up riches in heaven, man. Isaiah 60.
1 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 6, it says, I have planted, Apollos watered, but Yahweh have given increase.
That's right, and that's where we get the increase from, actually. This is
Increase.
This is 1 Samuel chapter 2. And I'll start 6. It says, Yahweh killeth and maketh alive, he bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. Yahweh maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up. So earth is the Most High, He does as He will, and He's looking to uplift us, man, to put us back at that pinnacle where we're meant to be.
Precept on what you
Yeah,
just said.
yeah, write it down, man.
It's the book of Psalms chapter 64 and verse 10, and it reads, the righteous shall be glad in Yahweh,
That's right.
and shall trust in Him, and all the upright in heart shall glory.
And those are the ones that's going to receive the blessings, man. The upright in heart.
So the people, you know, a lot of people, like, you know, mothers to their sons and that say, you know, I just want my son to be successful, you know, and they're talking about money, you know. The real success is in these scriptures, man,
That's
following
right,
the law,
that's
statutes,
right.
and commandments. That's the real success.
And when they say that, they don't even give the glory to the Most High. They don't even say Yahweh within or Yahweh Ratazah. So what they're doing, they're placing themselves in the position of a power.
More or less, they're saying, you know, you need to join hands with Esau.
That's
you know,
right.
I need you to join hands with Esau, you know, so we can get what they got.
That's right.
Quick precept again. This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 17, and it reads, but he that glorieth, let him glory in the Lord.
That's right.
That's where our glory is, man. That's where our riches and wealth come from, man. Isaiah 60.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 60. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 60 and verse 11. And it reads, therefore thy gates shall be open continually.
You tell me if you can get this in this kingdom. Our people are seeking for wealth, but you don't even know the wealth that the Most High is looking to bestow upon you, man. He says your gates shall be open continually. Go on.
They shall not be shut day nor night.
Imagine that.
Non-stop.
Edit.
For what? Forevermore.
Never end.
Forever, ever.
Forever, yeah, outpost.
I will love you.
I will love you.
I
The Forget that love it. Love
We've been
it.
practicing it up.
I want to write it down for you.
Yeah, I will.
I like how he said, "Come let's hear it."
How he said it.
Put him on the spot.
The earth is the nose of the fullness.
Yeah. Anyway, Isaiah chapter 60 and verse 11 from the top. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night. That men, not man, that men
Plural.
may bring unto thee the forces, with an S, of the Gentiles, with an S again.
all their goods.
Yeah.
That's what the forces are. They're going to bring us all their goods. So,
All our goods, really.
yeah, really, yeah. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right. That's right. That's right. That's the spirit.
Remember, Red, you gave Jacob to the robbers. So we're just getting back what was stolen, man. Yeah, go on.
A continuation, and that their kings may be brought. Verse 12.
The kings, their rulers, their leaders, their rich men, the
Everything.
chief principal people.
Verse 12 of Isaiah chapter 60. For the nation and kingdom that
No, go ahead. No.
For the nation and the kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish.
That's right.
Yep. Yea, those nations with an S shall be utterly wasted.
This all
Gawaya. A bad like Gawaya.
You know in the world when they say, man, what's mine is mine and what's yours is mine.
Right, that's right, yeah.
You know, innit?
Oh, you finished it, yeah?
Yeah.
So the precept is, it's slightly different, so the only, well, I'll bring out, but the only difference is, instead of nations, it says enemies, but we know that the nations are enemies.
All right, exactly.
So this is the book of Luke, chapter 19 and verse 27. And this is red letter, Yahweh Shai himself. But those mine enemies, which would be for the nation and kingdoms, for those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them. This is Yahweh Shai.
With your ears, man.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Bring hither and slay them before me.
And that goes back. Verse 12.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Isaiah chapter 60 and verse 12.
Yeah.
For the nation and kingdom
Mine enemies,
that will not serve thee
which will not that I should reign over them,
shall perish.
bring hither and slay them before me.
Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted.
That's right. Waste.
Wasted away with thee.
That's right. That's the spirit. That's right.
Yeah, 28.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 1. It reads, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken
And the funny thing is, all of these still stand, man, as long as we repent.
Exactly.
Seek the kingdom and not earthly wealth, man.
And you notice how it always says, if thou wilt. It's always letting you know. Yeah. Right.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord Yahweh thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I commanded thee this day, that the Lord Yahweh thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Yes, seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High. Keep reading. You don't really go through these blessings.
And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice.
Overtake thee, that means you can't run them over, man.
If thou shalt hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power.
That's right. Yeah.
Blessed thou shalt be in the city, and blessed thou shalt be in the field.
Yeah, right about now, we're cursed in the city and we're cursed in the field, man. Yeah, go on.
I got a piece of family. Read out.
Blessed shalt thou shalt be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep.
just a minute ago, just like it said, blessed be the fruit of thy body. So some of our women who miscarry, that would not be happening.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Or can't. Barren.
Or even barren, who can't even
be real fruitful.
Yeah, and even some of the men who have a low count.
That's right.
That won't be happening. Yeah.
Can't be above the roof.
And some of those who need Viagra, they won't need it. Yeah, they won't need it.
Even you better take on that.
Yeah, it's true. You have to think about these things.
The seed and the sperma, it's not even going to be the same that we're producing. That's going to be super sperma.
Yeah, because it's going to be
We're going to be producing kings and priests, man.
Yeah.
Don't go off, man.
So just, when you think about all these things, fruit of your body.
We won't be firing blacks.
I know, right?
Live rounds.
Live. One shot and it's the net, boy.
So some of them other men, they won't no longer be getting jackets if they call. They must do it for themselves.
As he would do.
Verse 5 of Deuteronomy 28. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store.
That's right.
Not having to go to these Edomite all this defiled food. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Blessed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
Yeah, because if you look at, especially these are brothers and sisters in the Americas, man, like, for a simple traffic stop, you don't know what's going to happen at the end of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yahweh shall cause thine enemies to rise up against thee, to be smitten before thy face.
Yeah, those that don't want to serve thee shall utterly perish.
That's right.
They shall come out against thee one way, and flee before thee 7 ways. Yahweh shall command the blessing upon thee in thy storehouses, and in all thou settest thine hand unto.
Whatever you put your hand to, it will flourish. I mean, can you imagine that?
And he shall bless thee in the land which Yahweh thy power giveth thee.
Yeah, we'll be home.
Yahweh shall establish thee an holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto thee. If thou shalt keep the commandments.
Reminding you once again.
If thou shalt keep the commandments of Yahweh thy power, and walk in his ways. And all the people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of Yahweh, and they shall be afraid of thee.
Establishment. This is who they are. And you don't ramp with them.
No, because my precept is quite long. Okay. It's actually precepting all that you're reading now.
And Yahweh shall make thee plenteous in goods, in the fruit of thy body,
there again,
and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy ground. In the land which the Lord Yahweh swear unto thy fathers to give thee. The Lord Yahweh shall open unto thee his good treasure, the heaven, the heaven, the heaven, to give the rain unto thy land in his season.
Remember in Zechariah 14 it says, those nations that don't want to come up, you're not going to get no rain.
And to bless all the work of thine hand. And thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow.
It's going to turn around. Where now people's going to your IMF and getting charged how much interest.
That's right.
Yeah, you no longer need them. They're going to need us.
That's right.
And Yahweh shall make thee the head and not the tail.
Imagine all these blessings is in reverse right now. We're going to reverse the curse, man.
And Yahweh shall make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath.
That's right.
If thou hearken unto the commandments of Yahweh
If again,
thy power, which I command thee this day to observe and to do them.
Last verse 14.
And thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day,
Walk on that straight, keep that straight gate, man. Go for that straight gate.
to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods to serve them.
So the precept for that now is in Leviticus chapter 27, Salakia, chapter 26, verse 2 to verse 14. And it reads, verse 2, Ye shall keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary. I am the Lord Yahweh. Verse 3, If ye walk in my statutes and keep my commandments and do them. Verse 4, Then I will give you rain in due season, and the land shall yield her increase, and the trees of the field shall yield their fruit.
And check it out. And this is showing you that everything will be natural. None of that GMO, demonic.
I like that.
No fertilizer.
No, so it'll be, everything will be, no pesticides and everything. So when you eat as well, it will be good, sweet, and good for your body.
No acid in the water.
And also when it says trees of the field, that also refers to nations. So shall yield their fruit, shall yield their substances, their forces. Verse 5, And your threshing shall reach unto the vintage, and the vintage shall reach unto the sowing time, and ye shall eat your bread to the full, and dwell in your land safely.
So you see that? So you will live to a good old age and be healthy.
That's right.
So that's showing you.
Verse 6, And I will give peace in the land, and ye shall lie down, and none shall make you afraid, and I will rid evil beasts out of the land. And this is twofold also. Goyim means nations, it also means peace. So them evil Goyim out of the land, neither shall the sword go through your land. This is validating.
You won't be shot down in the streets. You won't be marching in Black Lives Matter.
Verse 7, And ye shall chase your enemies, and they shall fall before you by the sword. Verse 8, And 5 of you, how many of us there?
6.
Right.
So I can take a break.
Yes. 5 of you shall chase 100, and 100 of you shall put 10,000 to flight, and your enemies shall fall before you by the sword. Verse 9, For I will have respect unto you, and make you fruitful.
You know the thing, just go right there.
I will
admire that
have
scripture.
respect unto you, and make you fruitful, and multiply you, and establish my covenant with you.
That shows again that's going to stay for everybody.
God, and the scripture said as well, 100 is going to flee from one man. Imagine that. There's like, Abadiah is coming, 100.
See what he's chapter. Just his name, let alone seeing him.
Verse 10, And ye shall eat old store, and bring forth the old because of the new. Wow. Verse 11, And I will set.
When he talks about bring up the tabernacle of David and make it like
And I will set my tabernacle among you.
Guess what?
And my soul shall not abhor you.
That's right.
Verse 12, And I will walk among you, and will be your God, and ye shall be my people.
You don't want that, man.
I took the word out my mouth. How can you not want for that?
You're going to be seeking stuff in this land, in this kingdom. Man, be content, man.
Verse 13. I am the Lord Yahweh, your God power, which brought you. So we're establishing who he's referring to. Brought you forth out of the land of Egypt, that ye should not be their bondmen, and I have broken the bands of your yoke, and made you go upright. And the last verse, verse 14. But if ye will not
here we go.
unto me,
Flip side.
Yeah.
Flip side.
and will not do all his commandments,
Do you now get none of them?
because we're already here.
Yeah, we're here now.
It's not a good look.
So that's the blessing. That's our wealth.
I want to end with what we started.
And just want to say just quickly, and the brother's right though, because a lot of times we talk about a lot of things, but we don't actually emphasize on the blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was beautiful.
It was, yeah.
This is 1 Timothy 6 and 6 again. But godliness with contentment is great gain, man. We can't get better than a piece of
First Maccabees chapter 12 verse 9 says, therefore we also, albeit we need none of these things, for that we have the holy book of scriptures in our hands to comfort us.
Be content.
That's right. Godliness with contentment.
We don't need nothing else than what we have already, man. Joe, which is this word, man.
Keep your mask.
And the wisdom and the understanding of this word and faith of this word, which is the true treasure.
Last quick reset. It's the book of Sirach chapter 23 and verse 28. It is great glory to follow Yahweh.
That's right.
And to be received of him is long life.
That's right. That's right. Mortality, man.
La I
That's
right.
That's it.
La I That's right.
When you say don't rap with you, don't worry. I'll ask you later. That's how much I shouldn't. That's how much I shouldn't rap with him.
That's right. That's right.
I don't get so much fun.
As we're saying,
This place ain't fun. That's why.
Walamium.
That's right.
Don't worry, leave him.
As I
Don't
say,
leave him.
are the Hebrews so much?
Sign it.
We're Hebrews right
That's right, man.
now. No.
So that is good. So this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10 and verse 23, and it reads, O Lord Yahweh, I know that the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps. And I'll precept that with Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 9. And it reads, A man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord Yahweh directeth his steps. And I'll precept that again with Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 1. And it reads, The preparation of the heart in man and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord Yahweh. And I'll precept that again with Proverbs chapter 20 and verse 24. And it reads, Man's goings are of the Lord Yahweh. How can a man then understand his own ways? And I'll precept that one more time with Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 1. And it reads, The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will.
That's right. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 15 and verse 3, and it reads, The eyes of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. And this is the book of Sirach, chapter 39
That's
and
another
verse
reason
19.
to be content with what we have, man. We're watching, man.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 39 and verse 19. The works of all flesh are before him, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, and nothing can be hid from his eyes.
Right.
Can't run, can't hide.
That's right. No place to run, nowhere to hide.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 21. It reads, "For the ways of man are before the eyes of Yahweh, and he pondereth all his goings."
Hebrews chapter 10, verse 31.
That's right.
It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power.
Sure
He
is.
said this with
Sure
Psalm
is.
50, verse 22. Now consider this, ye that forget Yahweh, lest I tear you in pieces, and there be none to deliver.
Real tough talk, man. Real tough talk.
And the most I can talk
Bacon,
man.
yeah,
But I was going to say, the thing is, he can back up his
Everything.
That's right.
Everything.
That's right.
Just talk.
Yeah, for real.
That's right.
Okay. Well, you know whose time it is?
Yeah, how was time?
Yeah, I was there.
I'm just taking you Howard's words, by the way. Just want to let you know. And I'm going to start at Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 7.
You're out.
And it reads, "Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. And with all thy getting, get understanding." As you know, like with wisdom, you need to understand exactly the wisdom you're bringing out. Yeah. And also, I'm going to precept that with Psalms chapter 11, 111, verse 10. Thank you, sir. And it reads, Psalms 111, verse 10. "The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom, a good understanding, and all they that do his commandments." His praise endures forever. He enjoys it.
He does.
No, he's
Yeah.
Legion, man.
And to end with, we'll drop the usual, Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13. And as always, this is the conclusion of the whole matter.
That's right.
And you know, what we brought out today and in future lessons to come. As the brother, you know, rightfully said, like, be content what you have. And this is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13. And it reads, "Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man." Every Israelite man, woman, and child. Verse 14. "For Yahweh shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil." And as I always say, whatever you're doing out there, even myself, I won't take myself out of the equation. You know, your brothers may not know, but Yahweh does. And we will recompense for it, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
That Israel, as usual, we're going to close out. Give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Baha, Baka, Kadash. That's right.
And I'll take a nice stroll, and guess what?
Left to Babylon.
We out.
Head Israel, man.
All right, yes, my brother.
Time is short.
Shalom.